Okay, now let's look at some examples of determining sampling methods from some given scenarios. So in the following, let's determine the method of sampling that's used: simple random, stratified, systematic, cluster, or convenience. So first, A soccer coach selects 6 players from a group of boys aged 8 to 10, 7 players from a group of boys aged 11 to 12, and 3 players from a group of boys aged 13 to 14 to form a recreational soccer team. So what we've got is we have a category age, or a variable age, and we've got categories of ages 8 to 10, 11 to 12, and 13 to 14. So these are our categories. And so each of these is a stratum. And so this would be an example of a stratified random sample. Part B, a pollster interviews all human resource personnel in 5 different high-tech companies. So when it says 5 different high-tech companies, this is out of all high-tech companies. And so one high-tech company, would be considered a cluster. And once you've selected one company or one cluster, then you would get interviews from all people inside that company or inside that cluster in the human resources department. So this is an example of a cluster random sample. Okay, part C. A high school educational researcher interviews 50 high school female teachers and 50 high school male teachers. So here you've got 2 categories. You've got male high school teachers and female high school teachers. And so each of these categories here are considered a stratum. And so this would be a stratified random sample. Okay, part D. A medical researcher interviews every 3rd cancer patient from a list of cancer patients at a local hospital. So where it says every 3rd, this is using a system. Or this would be what's called a systematic random sample. Okay, part E. A high school counselor uses a computer to generate 50 random numbers and then picks students whose names correspond to the numbers. So in this case, each student has an equal probability of being chosen, an equal probability of being chosen. And so not only was the choosing done randomly, but each student has an equal probability of being chosen. So that makes it a simple random sample. And then the last one, part F, a student interviews classmates in his algebra class to determine how many pairs of jeans a student owns on the average. So notice where this student conducted their interview. This person interviewed classmates in his algebra class. So this is an example of convenience sampling, which is a non-random method of sampling.